to leave the floor for questions by you guys. If you have any, we would really welcome them.
Hello. Hi, over here.
Yeah, hi, go for it.
Hi. Uh, Congratulations, Vishwesh, Rahman sir and Nihan. The trailer looks really nice. I have two questions. First is, why was the film named 99 Songs? It's quite a different title for a film. So that'll be the first one.
Good question. You know, it's like a fairy tale. The idea of this thing came when I was high up in the sky on the Emirates flight to LA. And I was thinking, why don't we do a story like a fairy tale where what if a guy has to compose 100 songs to get a girl? And then I said, 100 is a big number. Let me make it 99. And then you know what happens to the other song once you watch the movie.
Great.
And because we have many things, like you have to beat this guy, kill this guy, and you get like or you have to destroy this, or you want to, it's all negative. So I was thinking, what take music and make, or you have to climb this mountain to do this. So why can't it be a song? Because as a composer, I feel like sometimes, you get songs easily, sometimes you have everything, but you don't even get an idea. And it's torture, it's very humiliating within yourself to not get that perfect idea. We go through that, all creative people go through that stuff. The biggest and the smallest. You see the biggest filmmakers getting humiliated, and the biggest musicians getting humiliated because, band releases an album and then nobody likes it. And no, it's not as good as your previous thing. So you're constantly being tested. And so the work which is needed is not just physical. It's spiritual, it's mental, it's psychological. And I wanted that pain to be understood by normal, I wouldn't say normal, like everyone. So that's one.
My second question is, in India, we've seen almost a lot of films with songs. And this one's called a musical, right? What do you see, what's the future of a musical in India? How do you think we can kind of differentiate a normal film to a musical and then put it out in the market?
I think this film has come in the right time. Now, whole of last year I've been hearing people complaining, why are the remixes coming? Why is so much of rap happening? And so all of them are good, but when it crosses the limit, it becomes an irritation. And so this movie coming this year is probably the best time we ever imagined. So we are very lucky. And it also depends on the support people are going to give. Because people are always complaining there's no original songs. We have 14 tracks or 15 tracks in this album. Let's see how well they receive it. And that encouragement would force us to do even more beautiful music and make even more beautiful movies.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Rahman sir, you already written the story of the film. Where did you seek the inspiration from, and how was the experience like?
My wife is saying from her. So yes, she did she started writing stories, and they were very, very sad stories. So I said, why do you want to write sad stories? So I wanted to go opposite. The inspiration actually, what is the question again? Sorry.
The question was that you've written it, but what was your source of inspiration for the story?
So
Emirates flight.
Emirates. No, actually, the one line came very easily. In probably 10 minutes, the story came in, and I was taking a course in private screenwriting. So that gentleman, Gabriel, he said, "Let's take your own story as a case study, and let's see what's not there in it." And then we were trying to delve deep within it, and then we found what could happen, and so the story came in. And then I was trying to find a director. And then this man, somebody told me, try this guy, he's amazing. And so I saw his stuff, and he was as crazy as me. And so we spoke on Skype. I was in LA, and we spoke. And he has his own zone. It's indie, and he's very forward thinking. but I'm a very commercial person. So we had this tug of war constantly. And don't go too dark, come here. And so it is a balance that you'll see. And all the classy stuff is his stuff. All the masala is mine.
रहमान जी, संजय मिश्रा फ्रॉम नवभारत टाइम्स ऑनलाइन। म्यूज़िक के सारे इंस्ट्रूमेंट आपके काफ़ी करीब हैं, लेकिन पियानो से आपके दिल के सबसे ज़्यादा करीब है, ऐसा मैं देखता आया हूँ आपकी बातों में भी। और आप हमेशा से अदनान सामी के साथ भी कुछ जुगलबंदी करना चाहते थे। इस फिल्म से मेरे को पियानो फिर से एक बार आ गया दिमाग में, तो वो कभी हम देख पाएंगे आपकी और अदनान की जुगलबंदी, क्योंकि पियानो आपके दिल के सबसे ज़्यादा करीब है।
Sure, absolutely. Adnan is a fine player. He's got a heavy Indian classical bass. So his style is very Indian classical, which is phenomenal. And maybe in the future we will do something together.
अगर आप वो इनके केएम कंजर्वेटरी स्कूल में आप 2 दिन बिता देंगे ना, तो आप भी पियानो बजाने लगेंगे।
नहीं, मुझे भी बहुत पसंद है।
Yes.
Rahman sir. Yeah. First of all, congratulations. The Jwalamukhi song is awesome. It's very
Thank you.
inspiring. Sir, in Bollywood we have instances of directors, composers who are also film directors. So here you become a producer. You've done the story and you compose the music. When do we see A.R. Rahman sir as a movie director?
Direction means
So
giving
can
up.
I take that?
No, let me finish.
That's what I'm saying. 2D technology is too obsolete for Mr. A.R. Rahman. Okay, so A.R. Rahman has written and directed something, but it's in virtual reality. And I'm not making jokes. I'm genuinely saying that it is possibly the most important cinematic experience that India has endeavored to do, and it involves not just the visual but also the olfactory, which means the sense of a scent, which is smelling, as part of the experience. So the rest of it, I'll let you take. So 2D is too obsolete. Well, this flat, rectangular viewing, it's तो पुरानी चीज़ है सर.
इस एक्सपीरियंस में हम स्मेल को भी एक्सपीरियंस कर सकते हैं।
बिल्कुल.
I can't. I don't know what this is.
So, I think, the achievements in 2D cinema is so great that if I begin now, I will never be able to compete. So we have Anand Rai here, we have Rumi, we have Boni Kapoor here, all my friends have come in, and Himanshu's here, Mukesh Chabra is here. So I thought, let's take a new path. So nobody's there, and that road is free. It's easier that time. That's why.
Rahman sir, will you be taking the film to festival circuits also?
We did a festival in Busan. We got great standing ovation, and I left, and then the next 2 screenings they had a lot of fans. People wanting it can go on the internet.
Yeah, had fans.
And this is a very, I would say, a very feel-good movie. It's not an art film. So to be very clear, it is for all the people in the world, all the people in India. So I'm not pitching it as an art film because it has got all this we need for.
Masala.
That's me.
Hello, yeah. Rahman sir, you've been a Grammy Award winner. Your world knows you, all over world knows you as a music director. Now you have come as a producer here. Are you planning to launch, release your movie worldwide?
That's the hope. And because Geo is involved and they have the plans, whatever we do, they come up with the plans. So we're just like students waiting for them to always say the magic word. And they've been great so far, and I hope they push it up and take your suggestion seriously.
Yeah. So you've been working with all the best of the directors, producers, and you have given your music to best of the heroes. So what made you to take all the newcomers in this movie?
When you're doing something new, you don't want to be judged. So when you take newcomers, it's easier to bully them.
You blame it on me.
I bet Ihan would have also asked the same question. Why me?
I don't think he.
No, I wouldn't ask that. The first couple of days, I don't think he was still in disbelief, saying, "Am I shortlisted? इसके बाद कुछ task करना पड़ेगा तो फिर उसके बाद choose होगा." So yeah, so I think even I don't know why he did it. I think it's because
because usually Emirates की flight में air pressure कम हो जाती तो आदमी impulse पे decisions ले लेते हैं. But I'm not complaining, and I never questioned it the moment it happened.
I'll tell you what happened was, you were looking for a hero who can sing, who can play, and who's charming, who can act. So we were scanning everything, and our friend goes to Pakistan, and he picks up 3 guys from Pakistan and said, I said, why you can't find any boy in India who can sing? And no sir, this guy in Pakistan, he sings and he plays very well. I said, what if something happens between Indian boys? This is before all the trouble happened. And I said, this is my first movie, yeah, don't make a problem for me. And exactly same thing happened now. So I'm so glad that I was, and then we were like, go back to the auditions. And who's this guy? And I was just looking at him, and not as performing, just the face, like, this guy looks like the next Batman. You know? So I said, this is a, and he said, you're giving me more trouble. And I was like, yeah.
No, usually what happens is, आप कोई दुकान से भी प्रोडक्ट लेते हो, आप देखते हो और फिर देखते हो, बाद में आपको पता चलता है अच्छा ये मेड इन इंडोनेशिया है, मेड इन चाइना है, मेड इन इंडिया. तो जो एक्टर मैंने मतलब हम what we were looking for is we were looking for a musician to cast, and the ones that seemed to have diction, Hindi diction was good, and they were able to play instruments, just happened to not be from India. But so again, it's not like मैं मतलब देखो पाकिस्तान से ही लेते, ऐसे कुछ नहीं था. They just happened to be from there. But at the end of it, I think Ihan more than made up for all of our initial choices. I have to say that he really grew into his role. He, first of all, him and Tenzin living together in Chennai as roommates and going to KM Conservatory.
Tenzin should come here.
Show your face, Tenzin.
You know, turned them from, they were actors before and then they became musicians. So none of the piano and drumming scenes are pretended, you know, they're actually playing their parts. And so I think that his intuition was way better than mine was at the beginning. So that's Tenzin.
You want to talk about your experience again?
No pressure on these guys, is it?
Hello everyone. So I spent nearly a year in KM Conservatory, and then I used to train for like about 8 hours a day, and then I didn't take Sundays off as well. And then there was a time when there was a time when I didn't have a drum kit for a very long time, like for the first 2 months, right? And the drum room, there was one drum room, and then there were like so many players there, and then you could only book it for like 30 minutes. So I decided one night to climb the roof of KM Conservatory and go inside. I wrote a mail to Sir before, but Sir was like, yeah, go forward, okay, you'll get to practice. So I decided to jump off the roof. And then somehow the principal, who happens to be Sir's sister, she sees the clip and she calls me to her room the next day. And she was like, you did something, no? I'm like, yeah, because like I hardly get in time, and then I left my academics to be a drummer, so I really need to get into the skin of the character. So yeah, that happened.
Ihan, did you break any rules?
He didn't tell anybody that Tenzin did that.
Yeah, actually, he's right. So everyone, I'm from Kashmir, and I always wanted to be in films. And it was like, I think 4 years back when I shifted to Bombay, and I met this incredible casting director, Mukesh Chhabra. And he believed in me. Like every time I would go to his office, and he would say like, it felt like he had an intuition about me that I would end up somewhere in Bollywood. And one day I get a call for the film, and I got shortlisted, and rest is the history. I'm here.
Rahman sir, can we see you in this movie?
I tried, but ये shoot date देते नहीं हैं. So I really tried. I tried very hard to put him in the frame.
Which character specifically did you have?
As himself.
Oh.
As himself. He could have just been the lighting the scene. But anyway, I really wanted him to be in there somewhere.
I have my music there.
But we weren't able to manage that, no.
Alright, before we start assuming that maybe Rahman sir danced also, so can we have another question from this side, please?
Rahman sir, will you be making a film with Mani Ratnam again, since he is your mentor? He's starting his next film. Will you compose the music for that?
Yeah, I am composing. Yeah. It is in 2 parts. It's called Ponniyin Selvan. It's based on a book. And it's a very, very tough movie to compose. Yeah, we're doing a lot of research. And I think we finished 2 songs.
99 songs included. Has this been your toughest project? I mean,
Yeah, I'll tell you why. Because usually while composing, you have a director who's very experienced. There's a beautiful lyric writer. There's a producer too. And we sit and then we kind of jam and get a tune. But here I'm the writer. So the writer is doing something which the producer doesn't like, which is me again. And when we both like, he doesn't like it. So almost each song was done 3-4 versions. 3-4 versions, I think. Different tunes sometimes. And arrangements have changed. Till 3 months back, a lot of things were changing. And now it's all closing.
so it was essentially you against yourself more often than
Yeah, it was very, very exhausting. But beautiful.
Well, I can't reveal too much about it, but I'll tell you that there's something that that we try to do in this film is that there is a sense of grace and guidance that like me as an audience member, I've grown up watching people like Manisha Koirala on screen, and when you actually meet her in person, particularly when I'm in the position of a director and I meet her as an actor in the film, I still see her as a force, someone that's been an entity within the Hindi film industry or the Hindi storytelling, realm, and we used that kind of grace and that kind of seniority for her to be a kind of a quote-unquote guide, or someone that it provides that kind of guidance or maternal grace in the film. Because she is that way in person as well. Like, if you do meet her, you will sense that this is a person who's lived an incredible life and has an enormous amount of wisdom and that, exactly the 2 words, which is maternal grace. And it was easy because she comes with it. And the minute she stands in your frame, you hardly need to give her any lines. It already sort of scintillates. So I merely nudged the lines out of her, and the rest of it was her presence itself.
I have a question for you, sir. Firstly, congratulations. I think it's a fantastic start to Dolby. Thank you. What I want to know is, one, share your experience of collaborating with 99 songs, and 2, what is in pipeline for the firm now?
So I think first of all, as I said, it's really a momentous occasion for us to have Rahman sir's album in Dolby Atmos music. So that's a start, and we hope that this ignites the industry and helps and opens up the industry as well, and people actually get inspired with this and create more songs and more music as we move forward in this format. Because I mean, if you take Dolby Atmos as a format from a cinematic perspective over the last 5 or 6 years since we, or probably slightly more, since we launched here, there are a number of screens, over 700 screens like this, over 700 titles already. But when we started, it was, I mean, one at a time, and that's how we grew. So we hope that up to today, people really get inspired with this